So I want to start at the beginning with Flight. John, I understand this is a script you'd been working on for years, really.
It was around the year 99 or 2000 that I kind of was flying back from this trip in Germany, and I was sitting next to this pilot who was just deadheading, they call it. He was in his pilot blues, but he was flying back, and I'm a friendly guy, and this guy just kept chatting to me, and I just wanted him to shut up, and I was like, why is it I don't want to talk to this guy? And then I realized he's a pilot, and I was like, I don't want to know anything about you. It's like, I want to think you've got your life perfectly in order if you're a pilot. It's like, if you're the guy or gal flying the plane, I don't want to know that your life's falling apart and you're going through a bad divorce or your kids hate you or you're an alcoholic. And I was like, wait. Time out. What if there was a guy who was an alcoholic circling the drain in his personal life? And what if I put him in this situation? He has to do this amazing piece of flying and he pulls it off. And then they find out he was drunk. What would happen then? So I tried to figure that out for 12 years.
Wow. And Denzel, how did the script find its way to you, and what attracted you to the role of Whip?
It was just a no-brainer. I mean, it was just a great part and a great screenplay. And then when I found out that Bob Zemeckis was interested in it, then here I am.
I'm assuming you didn't have to audition for this role. When was the last time?
No, I didn't have to.
We actually have a screen test. Roll it.
Yeah, right now. And for the rest of you, how did the script find its way to you, and how did you go about winning your roles?
I walked in, and they had given me some sides from Tamara Tooney's part, so I had more, dialogue and all with your character. And by the end of the day, they called and said that I had a meeting with you and with Robert, and then 2 days later, I met you, and I met you in the elevator, and that was it.
Did you know in the elevator that she was coming in to read for the part of Katerina?
No.
Did you hope she was?
I refuse to answer that question on the grounds that it might. No, of course.
And what sort of preparation did you guys do to prepare to play these characters? Do they send you to flight school?
I just drank every day. Just got drunk every day. I was drunk every day of shooting, by the way. No,
So
yeah,
method.
we did get to. It was cool too. We got to go to Delta Airlines and try out their flight simulators, and it's a complete cockpit and act like you know what you're doing. And so it was good.
Are you the kind of actor who takes your work home with you at night? Were you fun to be around during this shoot?
My wife is always like, "Oh, who's coming in the house now? Let's see. Malcolm X today. Okay. All right. The white man's the devil. Okay."
James, from what I understand, the script, your character in the script, I've seen him referred to as Cancer Guy and Gaunt Young Man. Apparently, was he written originally for like a 19-year-old kid?
He was. The idea was that, maybe John would answer this better than I would, but he would be younger, and then there was this innocence kind of lost there. And I got on early in the process, and a lot of the roles were open. They said, read this, and it was a great script, and they said, well, let us know who you want to read for. And the morning of, I was going back and forth between one thing or another, and I said, no, wait a minute, man, I couldn't get the scene out of my head. I just couldn't get the scene out of my head. And I said, Victoria Burrows, who was casting the film, I said, can I come in and read this? And she goes, I'm sorry, you're way too old. You're just way too old. I said, Victoria, come on, do me a favor. And she goes, no, you're wasting your time. And I said, well, let me waste my time. I'll tell you what, I'll give you whatever you want me to do on some other roles. You give me one take of this role. And I'd never asked for that before. I think a lot of times as actors, we're told who we are and what we can do. And there was a moment where she did me a big favor. She let me do what I needed to do, and I got to do what I needed to do, and I walked away from there. And I said, and by the way, I was terrible at the other role I read. But I walked away from there and said, well, that was a gift. I got to read these words for once in my life, and I'll walk away from there and wash my hands of it. Sometimes all you get is the audition, and there's something enjoyable about that.
I'm curious, Denzel, for you, what was the most difficult scene, if you could pinpoint just one in the film, Your character obviously has to go through so much. Was there one that was particularly difficult for you?
Difficult scenes are scenes that you don't want to be in. You know, like the second day of shooting, and you thinking, oh, I only got 182 more days to go, or something like that. Those are difficult. There were no difficult scenes in this. It was just exploration and enjoyment.
We have to talk about the crash scene because it's one of the most amazing things I've ever
Hanging upside
seen.
down wasn't so nice, come to think of it. No, that was cool. That was fun.
So how many days were you guys upside down?
I think about 3 days.
Wow,
Yeah.
We shot the whole movie in 45 days.
really? I don't know if you can reveal the budget, but I think
$30 million.
which is shocking, amazingly. It looks like $100 million, and I assume that 29 million of that went to you. So
You're great.
I say nothing. I say nothing. No, everybody. Well, maybe not everybody, but I took a cut. You know,
Yeah.
the director, and maybe not everybody. But you know, it was just something you wanted to be a part of, so it didn't matter. You know, and the studio was like, well, we're only going to make it for this much, so we were like, well, at least they're going to make it.
Yeah.
So it was a no-brainer. Had to be in it.